Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Honest Am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives and teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I do not just use the tarot. I use God and cusses in the same sentence. And when it does not stop Charlamagne the God, it will not stop me. Angel number 24. So let's just go ahead and get right on into it. I hope that this message finds you well. Dear God, guardian, angel, and ancestors, what information do you deem ready for us to hear at this time? Please deliver these messages to me and through me, allow no room for doubt or confusion. All right, ancestors, you just need one card. You don't want to get super crazy. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. So the one card that, and I saw this card and I didn't know if it was going to come out, but I love this. The card that came out is a vision, and there's literally like, like if you ever went to go get your eyes checked, there's like, it says soul, sight, and future. And with those words being on there, I really feel like what God is saying is that he really wants you to start thinking about creating a vision for your life. You know, sometimes we get very caught up when we think about goals and when we think about dreams, and we equate this to feel like it's something that only a certain type of person can do. But if we take away all of the fluffy bullshit of, finding your purpose and going after your goals and dream chasers, being somebody that is going after their dreams is really just somebody committing to the vision that God gave them in their heart, and they're just trying to see it through. I was recently, as you guys can see, I have been super into P Valley, so I was like just recently listening to this, I think it was Broccoli City interview with Jay Alphonse, and he was just talking about how, he had a long road, he had a long journey to get where he is today, but he just trusted that information and trusted that vision that God gave us on the inside. And I know we've had a lot of videos on this channel, but I just really feel like God is saying you have to trust the vision that he put on your heart. The only way that you can get to that vision is by actually taking actions and making choices in alignment to that vision. God doesn't just give us these visions to, make you feel good or to pacify you. He gives you these visions hoping that it will motivate you to work towards it. So let's just dive right on in and get some more information about what is this message of vision all about. I'm actually going to go and get a note from the universe to see what God wants us to know or think about our vision. So dear God, guardian angels, and ancestors, we come as you as humbly as we know how. What is this message of vision about? Please clarify this. Allow no room for doubt or confusion. Just give us one card to give us just a little bit more insight about this message of vision. I am doing these messages like so different. I'm actually doing them on a Sunday, but I like it. I got up, I cleaned my house, and now I'm just doing these videos. It actually feels very good. I feel good right now. I feel like I'm walking into the vision of what I want my life to be. Y'all, why do God do this to me? I cannot make this stuff up, and I want to see. And I wanted to see what is this bottom card? Time for a love fest. Angel number 327. Time for a love fest, meaning that God is saying it's time for all of us to go after our dreams. And guess what card popped out, y'all? You're not even gonna believe this. Start where you are. Start where the fuck you are. You seen it. You see it popped out, right? So God is saying whatever that vision, I think so often we think that God gives us these visions he gives us ideas for our visions, not knowing where the fuck we are, not knowing, our education level. And what God is trying to tell you is that I know exactly where you are. I know exactly what skills that you have. I know exactly the steps that you need to take. And it doesn't mean that you need to move to make that vision happen. Start where the fuck you are. Angel number 411. So many of us, I keep telling y'all this year, God is just really driving home that the way to get to our dreams, the way to have these big visions manifest in our life is not jumping out the window and putting ourselves in an uncomfortable situation. The problem is so many of us get visions and ideas and insights on our life, and we're like, oh yes, I want that to happen. And we think that, because God put this on my heart, I need to just go to Atlanta, or I need to move to LA, or I need to move to New York. And then you do that and you fuck yourself up. I was recently listening, a very, very long time ago, I was listening to this Jerry and Esther Hicks. She has a lot of those little short clips here on YouTube. And on one of them, she was talking to this guy who was a rapper, right? And she was like installing this sound system and all of this stuff. And she was talking to the guy, and he said, yeah, I was like popping at home. I really, I was gaining the base, I was gaining momentum, and then I moved to LA and all of it changed. And the reason, and she didn't say this because she went on to tell another lesson about how the law of the universe works. But what I heard was God never told your ass to move from where you were because it was working where you were, right? Think about me, y'all. I have so many visions that I have for my life. I want to be an actress. I want to make screenplays. I want to write in writer's room. You don't think that... You guys see me on the channel before. There was even a time where when my tub was messed up, I literally was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is the sign. I just need to leave Detroit and just go really try to live this dream out. But then I had to remember, start where you are. God knew. He knows where you are when you make those prayers. So which means, let me break this down because I don't want it to go over your head. If God knows where you are when you made that prayer, that means that the answer to your prayer, the answer to get to that vision is where the fuck you are, right? Angel number 606 is not leaving your environment. It's taking the first step from where you are. There's something that we say in the I don't even know what to call this. The manifesting. I don't know what to call it, but I've heard the saying of you use what you have. You use what you have to get what you want until it's time for you to upgrade. I can say here, I wanted to do this. I've been wanting to do TV reviews. I've been wanting to revive my podcast for years. And then I just kept making excuses, being like, oh, well, I don't have nobody to do it with me. And it's so hard and I can't do this and da-da-da-da-da. And then I feel this connection to B-Valley. I know how I would want this show to be. And then again, there was a moment where I was about to be like, oh, but I don't have a camera. I don't have an audio thing. And it's just as clear as day. God was like, but you doing your YouTube channel, you're not letting that stop you. And so what it is, you start with what you have and then you build up. The thing is, you will never know. You're never going to get to the next step if you just stay stuck and being like, oh, I have a vision. God gave me this vision. But you ain't doing shit towards it. You have to move towards it. You have to take the first step. And the first step for me was like, okay, well, let me just do episode 1. Let me just see if I can do it. And I did it. And it felt good. And I was like, okay, let's do episode 2. And then when I did episode 3, I was nervous. I'm like, oh my God, what if I... But guess what? Because of the love and because, look, time for a love fest. Because what God is trying to say, look, convince yourself, not others. God is saying, Edge number 742, your dreams is not for other people to get. Your dreams are for you. Your dream, that vision he gave to you, only you are going to understand how to connect the dots. And the crazy thing is, I was listening to a video here on the channel, because, I listen to them every morning. And I was talking about the Page of Pentacles and how it's like you practice, and then it manifests into your real reality. And I heard that, and it's like I didn't even stay on that topic. I started talking to y'all about something else. But as I was listening to it, I heard God say, you practice. That's you telling the universe, this is what I want, and then I show the fuck up and give you that real life possibility. So many of us are talking about what we want to do, and you ain't even in the fucking arena. You ain't even got a you talk about how you want to have a business, but you ain't even got a Instagram page dedicated to the business. You don't even have a YouTube channel dedicated to whatever platform you got. You don't even have a website dedicated to who you try to be. So how are you trying to bring it about? This is what God is saying. You start where the fuck you are. You take the first step, no matter how small it is. The first step for you could be going to go get you a computer. So that you can actually, you don't have to be doing this shit at work, but you can have that place where all your work lives and breathes. Or it could be you getting a camera. Or it could be you actually signing up for the classes to even see if that's something that you want to do. I told y'all, I always knew I wanted to be an actress. I went to an actor's workshop here in Detroit, and guess what I realized? I was like, oh shit, like this is a whole nother grind. Like it's something totally different to do. It's something totally different to work, and I had to make a choice. I had to decide, look, time to make a demonstration. Come on, let me stop pulling. It's not about being right. So I was like, I had to make this decision. Convince yourself, not others. I'm gonna leave this out here. I had to make this decision. I'm saying, okay, when I prayed to God in that on-call room, he knew where I was at. He knew I wanted to be an actress, and he gave me a book. So what does that tell you? What God is telling me is that you do what I told you to do, and then I lead you to the directions of your dreams. Start where the fuck you are. Don't think that you know better than me. Don't try to convince other people, oh, this gonna lead to Hollywood. No, you just do what the fuck I told you to do. You fall in love with the process, and then I'll come through. Make a demonstration. Let everybody know that you're so focused that you walk, breathe, and live your vision. That people already know, oh, we know where she's going. She's clear. She's focused. Let me calm down. And so in case you missed it, I want to just step back and tell you that God knew where I was. He knew I was in Detroit, Michigan. He knew I had a MBA. He knew that I was working at a public accounting firm. And then he gave me, and he knew I wanted to be an actress. Since a fucking kid, he knew I wanted to be in movies. And guess what he did? He gave me a book. Angel number 1035. So am I supposed to say, fuck the vision that God gave to me? God fucked up and gave me the wrong vision? Or should I trust that vision and keep walking towards that vision, keep doing everything in my power to bring it about, and just trust and believe that all of those other things that I told him I will get as well? Because what I have been realizing is that when I just move in a direction of things, or when I say I want something and then I walk like I have it, or even if I don't walk like I have it, I just pretend that I have it, I say things to make myself feel better, eventually something come in. And I'm going to tell y'all something, angel number 1111, and this is between us, it's in the middle of the video, so I believe that this is going to manifest into something real, but this is the reason why I'm saying you practice, and then it manifests into a reality. Last week I went to I went to this like healing circle here in Detroit, and like I had no intentions on being like completely honest, but you know, it's just me, it's like I can't help it. But anyways, I had every intention on talking about something else. But then when it came to my time to like introduce myself and, you know, share with the circle, I was just super transparent about, you know, my journey, you know, me trying to be, you know, a good daughter, me trying to do the right thing, and how I end up being in a life that wasn't a reflection of me. And so, you know, we going in, we're having this talk. And, you know, the owner of the studio is also in the circle, and she's just talking about like how much, you know, she's going through with COVID, and like she loves the studio but it's beating her ass. Like, you know, we're just sharing, we're just being honest. And it was just on my heart to tell her like, yo, like the studio means a lot to me. And it's like, it's not because I'm like always in the studio or it's just like every time I need something, like she creates these spaces, and it's just like I really appreciate it. And so angel number 1230, at the end of the thing, I catch her and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I know you wouldn't know this, but this space means so much to me. It has been so pivotal on my journey. And so we just start talking. I mean, we're just having this, everybody's leaving, and me and her is the only two left in the room. And she was just like, you know, I was going to tell you, it's so crazy you came up to me, but I was going to tell you that you should teach yoga. The fucking owner of this studio that's in downtown Detroit, she tells me this, right? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, I actually did like training for yoga before, but you know, I never finished it up and blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, teach yoga here. I want you to teach yoga here. And so I tell you, and I told her, like, I was explaining the type of classes that I've been doing in my living room. I'm gonna shut up after this. I literally be in my living room practicing. Like I used to like start like, hi everybody, welcome to Intuitive Yoga. Like just like how I do these videos. I used to literally be in my living room by myself practicing my yoga flows. I used to call it the Intuitive Yoga Flow. And then I meet her, we have this moment. She tells me, just come. You should teach classes here. And I was like, what type of class? You know, I don't know how to do Bikram. She's like, no, teach your yoga class. Teach what you want to teach. And so I just tell you guys that story to say that you start where you are. You just trust that vision on your heart. When I was doing these intuitive yoga flows in here, I had no idea. Like I would finish it and I would always be like, oh, like I wish I could teach this, or oh, I wish I could show people this. But I wasn't actively seeking it. I was just like, I just had that desire in my heart. And I was just like, because this is the thing. If you ain't into the yoga community, it just can become like some hazing shit. And it was just like, I don't want to kiss nobody's ass. I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not. Because, you know, they be like, oh, what you eating meat? Like, I'm like, I want to be me. Like, because I know that my ancestors say nothing wrong with me. So, I'm going to keep eating. You know, so I just say all that to say, like, I was practicing these yoga flows, just doing them in my living room, thinking about how cool it would be to lead a yoga class. And then I go to a fucking healing circle And the owner of this major studio here in Detroit offered me a space to teach classes. So angel number 1445, I just go to show you start where you are. You practice, you practice, you practice. And for some reason, all of that just motivated. It was like, yes, you do the P-Valley reviews, because how else people gonna know that you can do it? And I had to do the first one to prove to myself that I can do it. And now that I know that I can do it, I'm just gonna keep practicing and practicing. And if it's meant for me, then the opportunity to do it on a bigger scale will come. And if not, I know that the work that I'm doing is preparing me for something later, because just like I was doing these yoga flows in here, it turned into an opportunity later. So I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna go in here, angel number 1521, and just get just a little bit more information about this car, and I'm gonna end this with a black angel. Dear God, guardian angels, and ancestors, clarify this message of vision. Start where you are. Time for a love fest. And this message is time for a love fest. God is just trying to get you to understand that love is all there is. Yesterday, angel number 1440, I took the time. Now, mind y'all, one of my favorite movies of all times is The Fifth Element. I just love that movie. All night long, all night. Anyway, that's my favorite movie of all times. But for some reason, yesterday, I was watching it, and like towards the end, it just hit me, and I realized, I was like, oh, the fifth element is love. The fifth element is love. And this is what God is trying to get you to understand. There is so much, I've been saying this since last year. It's so much fear mongering. There's so many things to get you scared and to make you feel like the world is ending. And the reason why that is happening is because when you're scared, when you feel like nothing is, nothing matters, you don't go after your dreams. You don't trust the vision because you're like, oh shit, ain't nothing gonna happen. But what God is trying to tell you, that's a trick of the motherfucking enemy. You got to trust these visions that he put on your life. You have to say to yourself, if everything in the world is deciding to be evil, I choose to fight for love. And that's what happened with me on Friday when I found out the whole, Roe versus Wade got turned over. I literally I committed to yoga. I went and got me an unlimited partnership. I went ahead and got my stuff I finally got my stuff for saging so that I can have frankincense and stuff in the house. I got this stuff so that I can really start, it was called cacao, which we had at the healing thing, because she said it helps with addictions and stuff, and I'm trying to stop smoking weed so much. Not because I think weed is bad, but because I feel like I could probably be a little bit more productive if I wasn't high half the time. Sugar was 1711. And so it was like, I just committed to no, I'm going to be the best person I'm going to be. I'm still going to trust these visions. I don't give a fuck what's going on in the world. And I literally told God, I was like, guys, you got the right one. You picked the right motherfucker, because I am a warrior for love. Y'all, we have to realize in the Bible, it says there is a time for peace and there is a time for love. There's a time for, there's a time for peace and then there's a time for war. Y'all, if you don't fight for nothing, you got to fucking fight for love. I was on a, you guys know I had a very complicated relationship with my father, and thank God I got to spend Father's Day with him, and it happened to be on Juneteenth, and so I actually had them do a ritual. They didn't know it was a ritual, but I had us, before we opened the champagne, because we had mimosas, and we went around and we had to say one thing that we were, one freedom that we were grateful to have, and one thing that we're looking forward to. And my dad said something that was so profound. He said, I am grateful and I'm thankful for my ancestors who had me in mind. Look, if our ancestors thought yo, lazy, scared ass, we wouldn't be nowhere. There would be no progress. We have to think about the next generation. We have to be you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to do this for them. I'm going to stand up for I'm going to stand up for love. I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And I realized that for me, the reason why I do these YouTube channels and why, y'all know I be wanting more people. I want a bigger audience, but I think God is trying to get me out of it. You don't create for a fucking audience. You create because I told you to create. You create because you have to trust the fucking vision on your heart. If I was only doing this because I was wanting more viewers or I was waiting to become YouTube famous, I would have gave up shit 2 years ago probably. But it's I still have 134 videos and I'm so committed because I have seen my life change. I haven't been having a conversation with y'all, but I'm sure some stuff has shifted in your life as well. But I can honestly say that my life has been changing since doing these YouTube channels. I don't think doing these videos, I don't think the same. And so I tell y'all all of that because though it's not getting what I thought it would give, though it's not, I'm not exploding and becoming the person I know I'm going to be deep down inside. I trust the vision. I trust where I am. And I'm working on convincing myself and not nobody else. Agent number 1945. I don't give a fuck what nobody doing. I have moments where I get very, you just like, damn, like everybody's doing this. People's lives are moving forward. But then I think about the blessing and the vision that God has gave me, and it's like I don't want nobody else shit. I want mine, because when mine comes, it's gonna be bigger than all this shit. So it's like, trust your vision. Trust what God placed on your heart. It's time for the love fest. It's time for us to double down on our passions. It's time for us to double down on community. It's time to double down on having empathy. It's time to double down on our dreams. And God is saying you don't have to leave the country. You don't have to do none of that shit. You start where you are, and you worry about convincing yourself and not others. All right, God. Really, really quickly, what do you want us to know about this mission of vision? Start where you are, commit yourself and not others. Time for a love fest. Give us just one tool that we can use to bring this all about. I promise I won't talk for 15 minutes. Why you give me 2? Okay, but I like this. The 2 cards that came out is, why do I want what I want? When you acknowledge what you do not want and then ask yourself what it is that I do want. Okay, so we all know that we don't want to live in this white supremacy ass world. We all know that we don't want to live in this place where we're constantly fighting for equality. We're constantly fighting for freedom. We know we don't want to live in this world where hate is ruled. We don't want to live in this world where gun violence is reigning supreme. And so instead of focusing on that, instead of focusing on what they're doing in Congress, instead of focusing on what they're doing in the Supreme Court, it's time for us warriors of light to turn our attention to what we do want, to turn our attention to the visions that God have placed on our heart. God, I'm about to get emotional. Woo! Woo! It's us. It's on us. They are trying the best to scare us out of our fucking victory. Don't let nobody scare you out your victory. It's time for a love fest. It's time for love to reign supreme. And I promise you, y'all, when I tell you, when I stop living in fear, my life opened the fuck up. These last 2 weeks have been like a fucking movie. I literally left a fucking healing retreat with a potential new whole profession, a whole new way to live my life, a whole new way to be creative, doing something that I wasn't even brave enough to say out loud. Because who gonna believe that a little black girl wanna lead yoga classes? Like, who thinks that? You don't see that in the mainstream. But God was like, no, I heard you. No, I saw you. Because you keep committing to love, I'm going to give you this. And it can happen for all of us. I'm not special. I'm not divinely touched. No, we all have this. Yes, I have this mole. That's probably because I spent the lady was like, I think you spent a lot of time in India in your past life. And I'm like, it makes sense. It'll make sense why I love yoga so much. Like, I think I used to be a yogi in my past life. Like, I clearly spent some time in India. Angel number 2313. So, I don't want to get emotional, but I just feel that. Like, when I say that, like, don't allow people to scare you out your victory. Like, I feel that shit in my heart is like, God is like, don't let it. Because that's what they're trying to do. Anyways, what is it that I do want? You begin a gradual shift into telling the story of, let me start over. When you acknowledge what you do not want, and then you ask yourself what it is that I do want, you begin a gradual shift into telling the story of telling your new story and into a much improved point of attraction. You get the essence of what you think about, whether you want it or not. This is why God is saying convince yourself, not others, because you're going to get what you think about. So if you spend your whole time questioning yourself, doubting yourself, what's going to get reflected to you is people questioning you and doubting you. You just have to believe the visions that God placed on your heart. Whether you want it or not, because the law of attraction is consistent. Therefore, you are never only telling the story of how it is, you are also telling the future about how you are, of the future of the experience that you are creating. That's why God says, start where you are. Make a love fest. Convince yourself, not others. Tell yourself what I'm doing is going to mean something. It's going to help the world. Even if it's just one person, it's going to help the world. It's going to move us forward. That's how we shift. Not only do you shift the vibration of your own life, but we shift the vibration in the world. The last card that came out is I want to harmonize with what I believe is good. This is what God is saying. It's a lot of evil. It's a lot of fear, but God is saying it's time for us to harmonize with good. It's time for us to start right here where we are and focus on those visions that God placed on our life. I want to be the best that I can be. Take that in. I say this all this. I just want to be happy, God. I just want to feel peace. And if I could do it another way, I would do it another way. But right now, this is the path that God is leading me towards. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to do and have and live in a way that is in harmony with the idea of my greatest goodness. I want to harmonize physically in this body with which I believe to be the best or the good way of life. This is what God is trying to get you to understand with the start where you are. He knows where you are, boo. He knows you're in that fucked up job. He knows you got that fucked up past with your mama. He knows you got that fucked up past relationships. He know that you the black sheep of the family. He know you barely making ends meet, but he still put that vision on your heart. He still told you who the fuck you could be. Now it's time for you to convince yourself and not others. It's time for you to focus fully on love. It's time for you to really ask yourself, what do I want and why do I want it? He knows where you are. You don't have to change. You don't have to become different. He know you fat. He knows you got acne problems. He knows that you don't know how to work out properly, but he still put visions on your heart of you being thin, you being named the best, one of the most beautiful women in the world, you being the best author. He still gave you these fucking visions, and he knew who you are. He knew you ain't even got no degree in doing a book. He knew you ain't know the first thing in doing a book, but he still put that vision on your heart. So what is God trying to tell you? Just start where the fuck you are. Trust the fucking vision. Trust it. You don't need money to attract money. What did I just tell y'all last week? Money is a fucking energy. You don't need money. We don't need to fucking be in positions of power. You don't need to be in the fucking Supreme Court to change this motherfucker. That's why these niggas doing what the fuck they doing, because they know the power is not in them. So what they're doing is making everybody else more scared, because they like, oh shit, because if we don't do that, then they can actually shift shit. Why do you think that healing and spirituality is becoming a trend? Because it's not a fucking trend. Because it's the way of life. Because this bitch is shifting, and them scary, evil motherfuckers know it. Let me tell y'all, our battle is not against flesh and blood. And I'm not a fucking church person, but I can tell you that shit. Our battle is not against black versus white. Our battle is against progress and the motherfuckers trying to take us back. I don't give a fuck if you black and you think that these motherfuckers is right. You ain't on my team, boo. We ain't the same. We don't think the same. And that's how we have to be. Stop automatically judging white people just because they white. Every time. Angel number 2740. Every fucking time. I call myself trying to be racist. I call myself trying to be discriminating against white people. God will bring me a nice, great ass white person and be like, bloop. So do you still feel that way? Because guess what? The same shit is happening on the other side. So do you want these white motherfuckers to go around thinking the same way that you think? No. The only beef we have is against motherfuckers who ain't trying to move this bitch forward. The only beef we have is with niggas that literally think it's okay to shoot up middle schools. The only beef we have is motherfuckers who think that I cannot have control over my own body. That's who the fuck I'm beefed out with. Who the fuck about this dumbass white versus black? That's stupid. Racism is the stupidest shit that human beings could have ever thought of. Do you see fucking pigs being like, get your black ass away from here. I don't want that black pig against my pink skin. Y'all, it's just stupid. The only beef we have, and the reason why all of this shit is happening is because they're trying to start a civil war so that they can take us back to old times. And so if it's a civil war, which means that they're going to throw out the Constitution and then all of this shit, we go back to the... No, bitch. We're not going backwards. It's time for love. If you are not, they're trying to make you do this. The fucking bots on the internet. Just in case you don't know, I ain't got no beef against the white people. My beef is against evil. My beef is against people who not trying to have fucking progress. Them the motherfuckers I don't fuck with. Last message, I get to set my own standard of financial well-being. God knows where the fuck you are. Just imagine if Jay-Z was like, you know what? I can't be nothing more than a drug dealer. Where would I be? This nigga saved me, so where the fuck would I be if Jay did not believe in the vision that God placed on his heart? And this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's about you, but it ain't about you. It's about you, but it ain't about you. Your dreams are for the world. God didn't just give you these fucking visions to make you feel good. He did it because he wants you to go after these motherfuckers. He did it because he knows it's in your goddamn reach. He knows that you have every tool, every resource, everything to make it happen. But you gotta fucking believe that. Okay. Now I'm sweating. Shit. I'm sweating. Angel number 3013. Let's move on. I didn't mean to make this long. This is what I get for doing damn cards, tarot. It's number 3033 on fucking Sunday. I don't think I should have did these today. Because I feel like a pastor. I'm hot. Just saying, y'all. Fuck these. And that's why I said on Friday. I said, bitch, no, you get scared. You ain't about to scare me for my motherfucking victory. Bitch, you get scared. You get worried. You think the world's gonna end. Because your shit's ending. Your time is up. Time is up. All right, God. One final message so I can get on out of here. Vision. Why do I want what I want? I want to harmonize what's good. I can set my own financial well-being. I don't need money to attract money. Start where you are. Convince yourself and others. Time for a love fest. All of this stuff. God said you don't need money to attract money. Start where you are. Convince yourself, not others. Why do you want what you... Like, he's giving us the tools and how to make this stuff happen. And it's not about jumping out a motherfucking window and putting yourself in some situation that you don't even know, that you're not even comfortable in. He's telling you can do this just by taking baby steps, just by asking yourself, what do I want? Why do I want it? Because after that, you change your point of attraction. When you change your point of attraction and you harmonize what is good, when you do that, that's when you manifest a new reality. That's why God is saying you don't need money to attract money. You need to worry about your energy. And that's why I did the yoga thing. And that's why I did the frankincense. That's why I'm about to go buy me some more incense. That's why I got candles with love crystals in there. It's a energy game. Step yours up. All right, God, why is it so important to trust the visions that you placed on our heart? Why is it so important for us to stop worrying about what we don't have and just trust the visions? Why are you bringing this message out at this time at the end of our lives? In God's name I pray. Okay, was that it? I don't know. Okay, I'll just take them out. It's the only reason I use these cards because they're so big. But at the bottom, we have the spirit guide, angel number 3244. Let's see what this message is about. The spirit guide. Yeah. These old motherfuckers. Ain't about, ooh, child. Let me not even get back started on that. I can't make this up. Just take this in. I want you to, whatever you're doing, stop. Stop doing this and just literally take in this message, okay? Please. I don't ever tell you to do this, so please just do this for me. The spirit guide. You are glowing light. On the waking path, guiding and illuminating. On the sleeping path, self-righteous. The spirit guide represents enlightenment of self. You have been able to do the difficult task of sustaining your true nature over time. You know all too well that the true self is impacted by falsehoods you may have practiced over the years to survive. Hold on one second. I'm actually going to turn this off so you can hear it. Oh my God. Y'all look. Shortages of time or money are perpetual. I can't make this up. God is like, you want it or not? Do you want these motherfucking visions? Do you want to change your life? Child. I don't know about y'all, but I'm out of here. I don't know about y'all, but I'm out of here. I'm getting my motherfucking 40 acres and a motherfucking mule. I'm getting this shit. I'm getting my motherfucking ancestral abundance. I earned this shit. This mine. I'm coming to claim on all. I'm coming to collect on all my ancestor shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting it. Starting from the top, the spirit guide represents enlightenment itself. You have been able to do the difficult task of sustaining your true nature over time. You know all too well that the true self is impacted by falsehoods you may have practiced over the years to survive. As a spirit guide, you find yourself helping people remove these falsehoods. You may work as a psychotherapist, spiritual teacher, diviner, or philosopher. You make us look at ourselves in a way that is frightening. Illuminating the soul is a phenomenal experience that you indulge in. Your capacity to help remove illusions put you in powerful positions with others. On the waking path, you constantly look at various perceptions on life. It is this seeing process that sheds light in your life. Your heightened illumination comes from your ability to reflect upon life. Sometimes folks are not able to understand your forthrightness. You may utter an illumination, and they blame you for stripping them of their beliefs. In your mind, you say, I should have just left that alone. At the same time, you realize your enlightenment can be beneficial to all. People gravitate to you without realizing that they are being pulled by their desire to be more honest with themselves. This feels like God's talking about me. Age number 3545. I'm sorry, guys. See, that's why I get ego. At the same time, you realize your enlightenment can be beneficial to all. People gravitate to you without realizing that they are being pulled by their desire to be more honest with themselves. You may be attacked for your actions, causing you to feel hurt and ostracized. On the sleeping path, you have illusions about the enlightened state of being. You may feel right about something or someone, or feel as an authority or expert, leaving little room for discovery. You find little patience with those who seem unenlightened. You may find yourself judging others according to where you feel you are on the conundrum of being enlightenment. This self-righteous stance can keep you isolated from others or cause you to waste energy by involving yourself with spiritual competition, which is stupid. Enlightenment is less about knowing what is right or wrong or having transcended the frailties of being human. Enlightenment is more about being aware of the nature of life, being awakened to each moment. To cultivate an enlightened state, one must constantly examine what is true, so that when you share your life experience, it does not come off as preaching dogma. Keep the book open on what you perceive to be true. Know that new experiences bring new truths. You may find the greatest illusion is your own enlightenment. Be sure that others are seeking your guidance before you speak. Watch for impatience and ignorance. Remember the beginning of your own journey towards wisdom and the confusion you felt or the mistakes you made. A fixed mind will keep you from having the heart to see anything. Watch for any projections of a holier than thou, self-righteousness, or appearing to be more right than others. Refrain from making others feel small and insignificant so that you appear large. Your light is profound. And so I'm just going to wrap this up and just saying, just like how it said right here, it said, a fixed mind will keep you from having the heart to see anything. And so maybe before in the past, you've had visions or you worked towards your visions and it didn't quite happen, or I don't know, maybe you don't trust God. And that's a very realistic thing. We've been through a lot as Black people, and I think it's very valid that we have fear or we don't trust him. But we have to realize that a lot of the information that we were given about who God is and how we're supposed to be in relationship with him was false information. And so we have to unfix our mind and be willing to see something different. If all these people are talking about the power of manifestation and how they brought these things into their lives, what makes you think that you can't do it? I'm going to be honest, a big reason why I started all this is because I would see people say that. And though I felt in my heart that it was true, I didn't really, in my mind, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't see how it's possible. And so I started to make it to where I had to know God for myself. And so I tell you guys this information. I tell you about stories that happened to me, not to brag or to be like, look at me, but to show you this is God working. This is real. The spiritual shit is real. It's not something that you can think about in theory. It's just something that you have to trust your heart and start where you are and worry about convincing yourself and not others. Okay, y'all, I am done because I did not mean to make this be almost a 40-minute message. If you made it to the end of this message, please give me a thumbs up. If you made it to the end of this message, you are not subscribed. What are you waiting for? Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never let never let anybody tell you what you cannot do. I will see you guys soon. All right. Sorry I kind of got long with it, but I was feeling it. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.